on different levels. The technician is of the lowest grade, the engineer better, and then the innovator is the highest grade. Of course, when you actually go find a job, it might not necessarily be the case. There are a lot of technicians who need to be very capable to be a technician. For example, the particle accelerator at CERN, made of 3 million parts. This giant thing spans the entire 30-kilometer radius. It's very hard to maintain. So these technicians probably all have PhDs. And you have the innovator who is like myself. I'm just a student at this point. I don't do a lot of great things. I'm still learning. I might be in the future, but right now I focus on something very small because I need to get to the point where I can innovate. So I focus on something very narrow. I try to learn everything about something very, very narrow, and then I start to go deeper. But I would say that if you are technically agile, if you have a scientific mind or a technical mind, you at some point will want to innovate. It's whether you can do it within the context of your job or within the context of your job. If you're given the opportunity to do so, I bet that most technical people would like to innovate, would like to participate in design, would like to involve the creative process. I don't think anyone would be happy just executing instructions for the rest of their lives. I don't think so. But in order to reach that level where you can innovate, you need to know a lot. In terms of the requirement, okay, so let's put 2 feet on the ground. Like if you are satisfied with being a technician, you can go to a college, you can get a diploma, and you can be a technician. You want to be an engineer and wear that ring, you need to have a bachelor's degree. If you want to be in innovation, and in today's world, that would be 2 things. One is you're in academia, you are either a research associate or a professor or graduate student, whatever, then you can participate in that. The other option is you go to the industry, and big companies have their own research labs, and they do applied research. Just like your IBM, your Apple,
Bell, Xerox, Palo Alto.
many other companies. So but usually these people will require you to go through grad school. Why? Because A, they want you to know. You need to learn enough to innovate. Because a very common problem is people will say, aha, I have a new idea. And then they tell their boss, and the boss is like, yeah, this has been done before. Why don't you go read a book? Right? If it's been done before, there's probably something that doesn't work with it or whatever, right? So that's why. That's why. And if you have decided that you want to be in the innovation, you have to go further than the usual. And the other thing is you have to go through grad school is because you need that mindset of innovation. A lot of people are very good at analysis, and I'm not a particularly strong person in analysis. But analysis and synthesis are 2 different things. A lot of people can do very good analysis, but they can never think about a new idea. They would never be able to come up with a new idea. Some people comes up with new ideas all the time, but if they don't put in the effort to do analysis, then new ideas won't fly either. Because there's always usually something very challenging about a new idea that you need to overcome because that's the barrier why, that's the reason why that new idea didn't fly in the beginning. So they need to be both. And that's very challenging. That's very, very challenging.
How do you, what do you expect yourself, where do you expect yourself to be in 5 years? That's
a great interview question. That's a great interview question. So either a professor or probably a designer or junior R&D staff in a company, one way or the other, provided I finish.
But the two are very different, right? One is in the academic world, the
yes.
other one you go to industry.
So my primary, so that actually took me a long time. That's another session by itself. But long story short is I'm more leaning towards being a professor because of many reasons. But I like teaching. I like interacting with people. And I like the idea that I can control what I work on. Because if you're a part of a company, your goal is the company's goal is your goal. You are bound with a lot of limitations, and if I can avoid that, that would be good. Because a professor has a lot more freedom in choosing what he wants to do and how he runs his own research program, how he supervises his students, what students he hires, and so on.
You can be students. You can be students. Oh, yeah.
You said that when you went to with undergrad, they didn't teach you enough. You didn't feel like you were ready. Did you have a co-op program or something? Or
Yeah.
so it still didn't prepare you.
Oh no.
Okay.
But remember, my premise was to do innovation. So if you successfully complete a bachelor's degree, you would be equipped enough to get a decent job and earn a decent salary. That's not a problem. But to start something new is definitely not enough. It's definitely not enough. But you got to remember also that there's nothing wrong with the bachelor's degree because you're already stuffing the students so much. If you think school is hard right now, think that your teacher will lecture you 3 times the material in the same amount of time in university than in high school. So it's not like they were just sitting there sucking their thumbs every day. It's just that there's so much stuff you have to go through.
To get to what you love. That's the point. Don't get focused on the road. Stay focused on the goal. And the goal is to get to where you want to be.
Yeah. And actually it takes a bit of sacrifice too. Because here's the deal. Usually as an electrical computer engineer, when you finish your degree, you earn about maybe from $50,000 to $70,000, something around that range. Right? You do a master's degree, you add another $20,000 per year. Right? Now, when you finish your PhD, it doesn't add up again. It doesn't add to it again. It might, if you're good, if you're fortunate, but it might severely limit your options. So from your master's degree from finishing your master's degree to finishing a PhD degree, it's a long road, it's a long, hard road, but your benefit is only incremental from a salary point of view. But the other thing is, keep your options open. You know, I was going to ask each of you what you have chosen and why, but I would leave that up to you. I won't embarrass you. But go home and, you know, tell and listen to yourself. You know, say to yourself out loud, what you have chosen and why. And if it doesn't work out, what other options do you have? Because when you're still young, you can always switch. It's not like you have invested 10 years of your life in one area, right? So, you know, as you know, Asian, you know, we like science, we like engineering, we love commerce, right? But are they really the only options? In general, one thing that we do well though is it's a good degree to begin with. An engineering degree, for example, can launch you into many different things. A good science or engineering degree can launch you into all the fields in science and engineering. It doesn't really matter whether you get you know, a chemical engineering degree and then later on you work in biology or you work in physics. Because everything is all related. Everything. The more you learn, the more you know, the more you will realize that, oh God, I should have spent more time on my statistics course or spent more time on my chemistry course. It all comes back to you. Right now, the stuff that I do, it's got mechanical engineering, it's got chemistry, it's got biology, it's got electrical engineering, it's got computer engineering, it's got everything. So, do well, get good grades. The important grades are like gold in university. Does your grade reflect your ability? My answer is yes. If you haven't got good grades, you don't even have a chance to speak. You get sucky timetables, you know, everybody will line up to register for courses. If you have low grades, you will pick, you know, all the sucky classes. You will pick the wrong, you will pick the bad timetables, right?
Hi. So Derek has been addressing this group this morning about what it's like to be an electrical engineer working in the field of theoretical everything, and the world of concrete things that actually do things. And you're stepping into this room from a completely different place. Brother Randy, room, Brother Randy. Michael? Hi. Hand. Derek? Jennifer, his wife? Jennifer?
Oh.
Ursula, Tiffany, Samantha, Daphne, and Vincent, and Julian. And please,
This is normally a high school Sunday